Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video we are going to be covering the history of Ninjago's language, which pretty much spans across several of the Ninjago seasons, and up until I guess a few seasons ago there wasn't really a set language for Ninjago, and that's kind of where we enter our first era of the Ninjago language, and that is that there is no Ninjago language. There was not an official Ninjago language until the Ninjago movie came out in late 2017, but that does not mean that Ninjago wasn't using strange symbols beforehand. As seen in the show and on several of the minifigures, they actually use real-life Chinese characters for the most part. Some of them are made up, but for the most part they are definitely real characters that translate into real things for some of the ninja suits and on some of the signs in Ninjago City, the most famous of which can be found on several of the ninja minifigures. Again, each ninja had their own little symbol there that carried over throughout several of the remaining minifigures over Ninjago's time. And this remained true up until the Ninjago movie came out, and that's pretty much where we get into our actual Ninjago language here, that being called Ninjargon. It could be pronounced a different way, but I always pronounced it Ninjargon just because, you know, Ninjago, Ninjargon, you get it. But basically it is the current writing system for Ninjago. Now the actual language itself can be comprised of several symbols that apply to real life letters in the English alphabet. For example, there's a specific character for the letter A, letter B, etc., etc. Every single letter has their own symbol, and just using simple, I guess, translation, you can actually go ahead and translate things into Ninjago with, you know, the Ninjago language. It's quite simple to do because each character corresponds to a certain letter of the English alphabet, so it makes sense. It's pretty easy to write in Ninjargon, and it's quite easy to read once you get the hang of it. I myself can read a little bit. I can't really read full-on sentences, but I can basically break down enough of the symbols to kind of understand what is being said and what's being written. And again, this debuted with the Lego Ninjago movie. Ninjago City pretty much had its own language, and that did translate into the TV show, starting with Sons of Garmadon. For example, the Ninjago movie figures, as you can see here, pretty much used Ninjargon to write their elements. For example, Zane's suit said ice, Cole said earth, and Kai's said fire. You can pretty much get what they're going with here. Just overall, these symbols are used to pretty much represent a certain aspect of that ninja's character, but it doesn't really stop there. Again, in the Ninjago TV show, this has been brought over as well, and we can see that in several examples in Season 8, and especially now in the modern day Ninjago, Seasons 11, 12, and 13, Ninjargon is very apparent in terms of its writing. You can see it in the background. It's pretty much used throughout everything. Ninjago hardly writes in English characters anymore. They're pretty much just always using Ninjargon, but again, it's pretty easy to go ahead and translate this. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but in terms of a history, this is our actual official language for Ninjago at the moment. And I find it to be really fascinating. I always thought that it would be really cool for Ninjargon to, I guess, have a place in the TV show, and I'm really glad that it does. Again, this wasn't really super apparent in, I guess, earlier Ninjago. They either used official Chinese characters or they just kind of made stuff up as they went along. But in terms of stuff nowadays, it's pretty weird to find a Ninjago symbol that's not written in Ninjargon, or at least kind of, I guess, represented in that same way. Now, because of this, obviously, there has been several misspellings of certain things, such as, most famously on the newer ninja suits, Manter was written instead of Master, for Legacy, so that's kind of funny there. But it's pretty rare nowadays to find a Ninjago set or an episode of the show that doesn't use Ninjargon in some way. A lot of the sets do. A most recent example of an exception of this rule would be the newer Legacy stuff, where the ninjas, I guess, retain their classic Chinese symbols that they've had since Season 2 of the show. But with that being said, that's pretty much the only example of something nowadays that exists that doesn't use the Ninjargon language. I, for one, really enjoy the Ninjargon language. I think it's really, really cool, but let me know down below in the comments what you think about this. That's pretty much going to do it for this video here. Just a quick video talking about the actual writing system used in Ninjago and how it translates super well in my own opinion. So let me know down below in the comments what you think about this, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for watching this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.